All right, hello. We're gonna be looking at another like little build because I obsess over doing a bunch of different Shaco builds just to kind of find what I kind of like for the current time. My favorite personal Shaco has been Crit Shaco over the years, and this build kind of gets me feeling like it's the best I can do with how crit items kind of are and for how Shaco is. The runes are Halo Blade, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, Relentless Hunter, Legend Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. Uh, the items are Enchantment Warrior, Red Smite, or Blue Smite. You can do either or. I chose Red Smite because I like the true damage it gives you. It gives you good dueling potential, and it lowers them by the damage they deal to you by about 20%. Ravenous Hydra, which you can either do this for the lifesteal and the more attack damages I went for, or you can go for the Titanic for extra HP. Into this build, I did into Duskblade because that's almost mandatory. Uh, into Berserker Greaves for the attack speed, into Essence Reaver because I like having, you can change this out for Storm Razor. Basically you want, yeah, just a crit item that gives you attack damage and crit strike chance. So I went with this because I like the cooldown reduction. I liked having 40%. Into Infinity Edge. And when you get this, you will actually start doing massive amount of damage. Not only because, you know, your crit strike chance is at 50% and you're going to be hitting people for, you know, 225% of that damage, but your backstab also is a crit. So every single time you, and now that Shaco is the way he is now, instead of having to do a cooldown in between, every single backstab that you do can crit. So that's the build that we're going to be looking at this game. I had a slow start and a solid finish. So, see you in there. Alright, we're just waiting to kind of get into the replay. But as you can see with their team, they actually have a pretty tanky team with the Cho'Gath set, the Gragas, Gangplank, who also does a lot of damage. But Lucian, I mean, is also kind of a slippery ADC. Because, I mean, there's times where if you're playing Shaco and you go to backstat and you go to kill Lucian, if you don't one-shot him right away, or he's actually good on his reflexes, he can just dash. And sometimes that little gap distance that he can create can give him enough time to just burst you. So yeah, we're just going to be doing kind of a little speed run through the game and kind of explaining some points and how I built my items. Alright, so here we're in. So, that box is a mistake right there. Generally, you want to put down a box kind of where you're expecting to be invaded from right away, because you don't have to set an actual box down until 51 seconds. So I'm just kind of doing a pretty solid clear. Not like the most like crazy box efficient, but we're just going for clear. And the reason I went with Halo Blades is because the attack speed you get from it early game actually feels really nice. The Halo Blades feels really nice for that. So yeah, it's basically, we're just trying to play Farming Simulator. Now we end up getting Cho here with the Ignite, and he wastes Flash. And then right back to... So generally a rule of thumb when you're playing Shaco is you shouldn't actually gank until you're level 3 and you have red buff. Those two are almost mandatory. Because once you get level 3, you'll have your E by that point. And once you have red buff, you'll have the red buff buff. It grants an extra, like, slow and shit. It's, like, necessary. So I'm trying to see, I got counter jungled a little bit. So I'm trying to see what I can get. So far, my first back, I picked up Tiamat. I like to go Tiamat before my smite item. And here I get unlucky 1v1. But I like to go Tiamat before smite item because of the AoE that it gives. So you can actually clear The camp's quicker. So that's just... I die again because my teammate was pinging me and I thought that that meant he had the guy's orange down. Well, he didn't. So yeah, best thing you can do is try to farm for Shaco's level 6 as soon as possible. That's a really big power spike because it gives you a bunch of extra damage and a bunch of extra survivability. Yeah, here I kind of overstay. We end up dying, but my Malzahar gets a kill, I get a kill. It's all Gucci. And then back at it with the farm. The best thing you can do is you want to try to get your bot lane generally ahead. Because bot lanes in this meta right now are the most important lane, only for the fact that for dragons. But you can see like their bot lane has a little bit better pre-6 until my bot lane. Yeah, here I actually didn't see that set invade and set up in my jungle. So I end up losing first drag. By this point I have my smite item and Tiamat. I'm starting to build my boots. I don't think we even get anything out of here, no. Yeah, you can see like so far I'm playing, you know, I'm not doing good, but I'm not doing like exactly bad. I've had some bad trades, like the set in his jungle. I overstayed bot lane. I got caught in my thing because I just wasn't expecting it. But you can see down on this little tab, I really start getting kills kind of back here. And this is a late game, which Shaco's late game was actually nerfed pretty hard when they did his little rework. They wanted to give him power to his early game and they nerfed his late game. So yeah, I'm just out here getting picks. I don't think I really have to. So yeah, at this point we have our Greaves and all that stuff, and we're basically just kind of playing for being annoying and trying to get picks. See there, I queued in to set up my my clone. While I was invisible, I pressed R to set up my clone so that they would get terrified. Cause that's like one, you know, like if you think about it, that's a really good CC if you can get in on their team and it works. So basically, the way Shaco feels is like if you're behind or if you're going to AP, he can be really useful with his utility, or like the damage you get on boxes and stuff. This game I was full AD, so box stuff like that aren't doing much damage, so I'm going utility. I'm basically trying to kind of set up things or kite using my kit. Once this build gets going, I'll kind of skip ahead a little bit. Nothing that really happens here. I just, you know, 668. But at this point, I picked up my Duskblade, and I'm starting to build my Essence Reaver. Go up here. This build is really good for farming, so you kind of want to be making use of it. But here, we pop him. This build actually does decent damage towards like tanks because you're crit, so you have really good constant damage, which is like mandatory for facing some tanks. Because what you do, like the issue is, If you do full AP, you don't have that good, like, where you can get on their back line and just destroy stuff. You're kind of more utility purpose. You set up a bunch of boxes, they walk in boxes, they take a lot of damage. But I feel that when I'm in full tank games, that seems to not go the way I want it to. Full lethality is you are do or die. You will literally go in and try to pop the squishies. But if you fail, yeah, here I had to just get out. Unlucky. But if you fail to pop the squishies, you just die. Or you kill squishies, but then now you don't do any damage to tanks unless you are super far ahead and the tanks are not on par with you. If they are on par with you, you will not kill them. So yeah, we'll go back 15 seconds real quick just because I want you guys to see. So here, I see Gragas was pretty low, so I'm like, alright, I'll just get Gragas. I'm going, I auto E, he gets the shield, he doesn't die. I prop my R, and I leave. See, I got triple Terrify there. My Malphite would have acted instantly, that fight could have been a lot better. Generally, you want to try to use, on this build too, you'll be doing a lot of damage. You won't need to actually use your E until it's actually within execute distance. So, that's one of the nice things that's kind of with this build. But that's also why we use Coup de Grace. To get more damage on those lower HP targets. I'm just kind of skipping ahead. So I'm kind of setting up boxes just in case all goes bad, but then I queue in because I notice we get good time. There goes their GP. There goes set. And here comes Chow. You know, you may say he was low, but that motherfucker just had gargoyles too, so he was actually like pretty tanky. He was pretty beefy. Nice, back to clearing. Dragons win. Like Rift, you should always prio your dragons over your Rift. Rift is nice, but it is not mandatory. Rift is really good for snowballing lanes or getting lanes that are slightly behind caught back up. But dragons, since they don't last that long, dragons are better. Here, boom, kill him. I'm on set. Here, we thought we could end, but we didn't have minions. So, we just go do Baron. This build is actually good for taking Baron, especially once you get your Ravenous. Once you get your Ravenous, you can actually, you could possibly even crit, like, just do it yourself. But you run the risk of, if anybody shows up, it's instantly over. You can't stay and kill them and do Baron. Here, I think I can kill him, but he does a lot of damage, so I end up dying. I get a lot of stuff. Our Caitlyn just decides to not group. When they were running it down, she just stays down there, which whatever. She ended up getting things, so it's not the worst. But yeah, so far in this build, we are currently max build. We have all of our stuff. We'll be getting ready for the final fight. Yeah, you can see I went from 6 and 7 at one point to, I'm currently 15 and 8. I end this game at 17 and 8. Here, look at it, boom, dead. And then he's gone, and then GP is still around. could not catch him because of that speed. I act like I'm leaving, but really, I'm not. I'm just waiting to go back in. He's not expecting it, and boom. He's dead. Then yeah, we just run it down. So that's the game. So yeah, if any of you like if anybody that watches these would actually want me to do kind of like a more in-depth jungle guide or like what I'm thinking the entire time and what I'm looking for, maybe to help some people that are like low elo. Because right now I am currently only gold 1. I'm trying to get last season I was in plat 2 at my peak. I'm trying to push for diamond this season. It's just taking some time to get out of this last little bit. This reset that they did to MMR, everyone got placed pretty low, so I'm just climbing back out. But yeah, if you guys would like anything like that, for anybody that's, lower that is picking up jungle, because it is a very, I wouldn't say it's the hardest role to play in the game, but it's definitely the most, like, consuming when it comes to your mental. Like, mentally, you are constantly always having to do stuff. You're not just sitting in a lane trying to last hit, knowing when to trade, when to not. But yeah, so I can do that if anybody would like to. One more time for the runes. There they are. Hail of Blades, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, Relentless Hunter, Legend Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. Alright, see you in the next one.